Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Erica Steele. I'm a board certified naturopathic doctor and a holistic doctor here to discuss overcoming barriers to remote patient monitoring adoption. So, again, I'm a holistic doctor. I have 7 degrees in my field, all in the natural healthcare space, except for one in business. And so, I'm really here to educate you and just take all of my knowledge out of my brain and give it to you. And so, if that is all you want to learn all about holistic medicine, holistic lifestyle, I encourage you definitely to join our free community. Click the link below, and you will get special, insights and tips, and also be able to interact with our community. So definitely check that out. It can be incredibly helpful, especially for people that are trying to adopt remote patient monitoring into their health or lifestyle program. Okay, so let's jump into what the barriers are to remote patient tracking. First, I want to just clarify what remote patient tracking is, just in case nobody knows. So we have a holistic app in our practice that we can track and monitor anything from water to food to steps to meditation to pH levels, you name it. If it is something that can be measured, we can track it. And so it's a way almost to extend the doctor's office. And so instead of being in a traditional doctor's office where they, let's say, just take your basic vitals, we can take pretty much any metric, we can measure any metric, all from the comfort of your home. And so that makes it really just a nice tool, especially leveraging technology these days to deliver care. So let's talk about some of the top challenges though, because I think when people get into technology, they get really overwhelmed. And it's not just the patients. I think providers can get overwhelmed too. There's just a lot of data to, look at, evaluate. And if you don't have a system to organize that or prioritize the data, you're going to run into some problems. From the patient side, I find that patients are overwhelmed by all of the new things and the new information. And if they're not technologically savvy, then of course there's going to be resistance to that. But I will say that even my most tech fearful patients have been able to slowly adopt it. Maybe it's not as fast as, let's say, my millennial or, later patients who literally pop out of the womb on an iPhone. There may be some learning curves, but we work with the patients kind of step by step. And so I think a lot of times with providers, it's adopting these technologies, but then also to being able to support the patients with these tools and be able to really just help the patient understand from an education perspective, but also from a health perspective, why it's really important. I don't think people make that connection between their health and their data. So it can take some time to adopt those principles. I would also say too that, remote patient monitoring is really just I think the tool is so versatile and you can use it in so many different vantage points. And so one of the ways that we use it a lot is through underserved and marginalized communities, because we can go in, we can, have them, download it on their phone. And also too, it will work on most any phone. And even if they don't have a phone or phone access, they can also look at it online. Now, of course, some of the challenges are if they don't have internet access or they don't have Wi-Fi connection or they don't have access to a phone or a computer, that can definitely make some challenges. But we are working on making some solutions, especially going into different remote places to be able to support and assist people on the ground where they wouldn't otherwise be able to get that information. I love remote patient monitoring so much because I can take an EKG, ECG, I can record all of that. I can send that file over to a cardiologist anywhere in the world for them to be able to take that data and then reach out to the patient. So I also love the versatility from a provider perspective, where all of this data now we've been tracking, we've been monitoring. So if there is a need for, let's say, a conventional doctor intervention, we are literally sending all the case information so that the doctor can immediately know exactly what's going on and then be able to provide an effective treatment plan. So we really like it for that. I also think too, just in this day and age where, there's all these super bugs and going in and out of hospitals, we know during COVID was so tricky. And then just people in general not wanting to necessarily go out as much. It's a great way for people to maintain their privacy while still getting the healthcare that they need. And I love the ability where patients can go in, they can send me messages, and I'll sit there and respond to them and just get them the answers that they need with resources, which is really, really fun. One of the things that we really work hard on is trying to ensure that all of our programming is culturally tailored to the individual. We treat people from all over the world, from Morocco, Turkey, Africa, the Caribbean, America, Canada, South America, all different places all over the world, Japan, and we really love being able to offer this service with remote patient monitoring so that anywhere they're in the world, as long as they have their phone or computer, they can now access and begin to track this data. And then with that, we can now apply that with whatever their culture is. So let's say, the diet of, let's say, an Asian person is going to be very different than, let's say, a diet of a Hispanic person, or Black patients, Black and brown patients, or Indigenous patients may prefer more of a natural approach, where, let's say, more of maybe a European patient may vouch for more of that synthetic approach. So, and I'm making vast generalities, but the point being is that we can really adapt this so that the patient is being able to get really cultural sensitive care. I treat patients from all different religious backgrounds, all different dietary restrictions, all different, you name it. Over the 20 plus years I've been in holistic health, I think I have learned about every different type of culture. And also in my master's in public health, we learn a lot about culture and how culture impacts your health. We want culturally integrated and sensitive healthcare, because that's going to help a person heal, rather than subjugating them, oppressing them, colonizing them, forcing them, or putting them in a system that is not going to work for them, or not going to be culturally intuitive, or culturally intelligent, or insensitive. So here's the other thing that I think it begs to be spoken about, is the trust in technology-driven care. So, well, how could this work? And that kind of thing. Really, all it's doing is tracking the data. And then we have lots of tools we can use. We use AI. We use various different tools that we have cultivated that are all HIPAA compliant, that are all the highest level of healthcare security. When I moved overseas, I went through a big overhaul with our technology and making sure that we had compliance. There was a lot of different, hoops we had to jump through for all of that, just to make sure that our platforms are secure enough to handle you from anywhere all over the world, and make sure that we protect your information. That has been a driving force for me my entire career, is to protect healthcare data, to make sure that you have privacy, and that the privacy between me and the patient is protected. I know with the 14th Amendment, poof, or parts of it, poof, that makes it a little bit more challenging. But we still want to advocate for the inclusion of holistic healthcare. We want to advocate for your health freedom and your choice, really, to choose. And I think remote patient monitoring really gives you that extra level of accountability, accessibility, but also just responsibility with your health. It makes it so that it's accessible, effective, and it gives you all the tools and the techniques and the information that you need to make informed decisions. So if you're interested in learning more about how remote patient tracking can help you and your family live more holistically, definitely check out our holistic community, where we talk all about it. Plus, there's a free course in there where you can try out our app and see what you think about it. You can practice with it, play with it, and naturally book a consult if you want me to monitor your data for you. So like, share, subscribe, and comment for more.